Welcome to another episode of Cole's Corner. Today we have a special guest. She is an influencer, HBCU graduate, entrepreneur, 704 legend, content creator, and the CEO of Black Girls in Media. Black Girls in Media is a platform dedicated to empowering and amplifying the voices of Black women in the media industry. Through her leadership, Black Girl in Media has become a resource and community for Black women who work in media, entertainment, and communications. While specific accolades may not be widely publicized, Tasha Mack's work and leadership has been acknowledged in various ways within the media and entertainment industries. She has been awarded honors such as Ebony Power 100 Media Maven Honoree, Los Angeles Lakers Women of Diversity Award, Broccoli City Breakthrough Women Music and Media Award, Hyundai It Girl 100 Award, Legion and Mafeeder Women to Watch, Media Girls Media Mogul in the Making Award, 2022 HBCU Top 30 Under 30, and over 400 people attended her second Black Girls in Media Conference in New York City. Thank you for coming. Welcome to the corner, Tosh.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. The homework, the research.
All right, so let's jump right in. Tosh, what's up?
Nothing much. I'm so honored to be here.
No, I appreciate you for coming. When I was thinking about the pod and like the first people that I was gonna have on here, you was definitely one of the first people that I said I needed on here, just because of like your ties to the city and just because of everything you're doing for like Black women. And I think it's super dope, especially knowing that we went to the creek together. Like, you're doing your thing for sure.
Yes,
but
you are too. Thank you.
For those of you that don't know Tasha, tell us about where you from, how we met at Mallet Creek. Like, tell us about. Let's take us back. Let's go.
Okay, period. So, I'm just honored to be here because I don't really talk about, you know how like we don't talk about what we do, we just keep doing. So hearing you say all that, it's like, wow, like I be doing a little something.
What's up?
But yeah, I'm from, like he said, I'm from Charlotte. Went to Mallard Creek together. You were on the basketball team. I was on the cheer team. So, you know, I think that just that upbringing was just like a good foundation that we had, like just good times. And then after, you know, Mallard Creek, I went on to A&T, Aggie Pride. I went there undecided, didn't really know like what I wanted to major in. And then I was like, okay, well, I like to talk. So I decided to do PR and, you know, did PR for a little and then finished my 4 years at A&T and I did a lot there, Pledge, you know, AKA, and was just in a lot of groups. And then after A&T, I came back to Charlotte, just trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. And I was like, okay, let me just stall. And I was like, while stalling, let me apply to grad schools. And I applied to NYU, got in. I was like, perfect. So now I can live in New York and have a reason.
So let's go back. HBCU experience. I went to Fayetteville State my first 2 years, and then I graduated with my bachelor's from a PWI, but then I went back for grad school to an HBCU. So talk about your HBCU experience. Like, you know, HBCUs are known for their rich history and culture. Like, how did your time in the HBCU shape your personal and professional identity?
So we did the switcheroo. So you started off, so we did, So really, honestly, I didn't know if I wanted to go to a HBCU at first. And my mom really encouraged it. And then when we went to tour A&T, I was sold. I was just like the campus and everything. And looking back, I can't imagine not going to HBCU. It was like the best years of my life, being around my own people, being around affluent people, and just those opportunities. It was just the best years of my life.
What was the sense of community like? Like, tell the people that didn't go to a HBCU how it feels to like wake up, go to class, and just look at all your people. Fried Chicken Wednesdays, like from Fried Chicken Fridays. What was it? Fish Fridays.
Yeah.
Fried Chicken Wednesdays. All of that. Talk about like how being around so many young, inspiring like Black people inspired you to do what you do.
It was great. You know, honestly, I feel like I did have a different experience because I was on the dance team at A&T. I was on Golden Delight.
Okay.
So that brought a whole new sense of like discipline and focus. And then when it was off season from the band, then I was able to explore and do those things like Fried Chicken Fridays and hang out with my friends. And then my junior year decided not to dance, and that's when I pledged. So it was like really just getting that full experience and that culture. and now seeing like the culture really be celebrated, it's just kind of like to be able to say I was a part of that is like flex.
So the HBCU experience.
Yeah.
What are some challenges you faced there? Because I know Fayetteville State, Clark Atlanta, financial aid, student accounts. If you know, you know. You
Yeah.
know, like you don't have that many resources, but I think because of the people that are around you, and because of like it's like a sense of like community, togetherness, family. Like, how did y'all overcome those obstacles being on an HBCU campus?
Like as far as just like financial aid and
Or just,
like,
it's hard because, like,
Yeah.
PWIs have different experiences than students that go to HBCU. So just talk about, like, how that, like, encouraged you. Like, how, like, being around, like, your sorors and all that other stuff, like, made you be like, okay, I can do this. Like,
Yeah. I would say just even the transition coming from high school to a dance team and realizing like it kind of shocked me because I thought I was just joining a dance team when I got to A&T. Like my mom dropped me off like, okay, bye, I'm going to practice. No, it was a whole situation. It was like real life drumline, like
no, for real.
discipline and like you're with them 24/7. So then it's like you start off freshman year with the whole band family, you know? And so, yeah, it definitely had its challenges. Sometimes I didn't want to go to practice all the time. I wanted to just be a regular student. But, in hindsight, it was just like it shaped like really good character for me. And yeah, like the application process and all those struggles, like my mom, she helped me. Like she was really, pushed me to have the HBCU experience because she went to John C. Smith.
Yep, my parents did too.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. She went to John C. Smith when she was younger but didn't finish. And then so a few years back, she finished at John C. Smith. So she was, it was really important for her to have a daughter that shared that same HBCU experience.
Right. So you said when you went to A&T, you pledged AKA. Talk about that. Did you always want to be an AKA? Do you have sorors in your family? Like, how did that experience come about?
Well, I like this question. I've never been asked this. So yes, my aunt, she was an AKA growing up, and I have a cousin that's an AKA. So when I was little, I used to because she had, a lot of stuff over at her house. And so I used to say, I want to be an Appa Kappa Appa. Like, I didn't even know how to say it right. So it just stuck in my head.
Yeah.
And then
my mom and my sister are AKAs, and my dad's a Kappa. I was the only one in the family that didn't pledge, but I feel like my sorority was basketball. So I didn't really I always thought about it, but it was never something that was a priority just because I really didn't even feel like I had the time. So how many people were on your line?
It's in your blood. It's okay. So 39 of us. It was total 39 and spring 13. And yeah, just going back to the band, it was just a great opportunity to join a family, a network for life, and just join that legacy. It meant a lot to me, and to do everything I said I was going to do.
Right.
Meant a lot.
Right. So the sisterhood aspect is 39 of y'all. My sister, she had a big line too. How many people are you still close with out of your line?
I'm still close with really all of them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure your work with Black girls in media, have you had any sorors reach out to you? Has being a soror helped you in that aspect to bring people towards you or your conferences and all that?
Oh my gosh, you asked the best questions. Okay, so it's crazy. I am so removed from A&T now because I graduated in 2014. But Black Girls in Media has brought me together with my neos.
Yeah.
Girls that literally crossed last year follow me, hit me up, oh, I'm a part of BGIM. And it's just connecting those dots. It's just perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
So your sorors on campus, did you feel like y'all stood out? Did you feel like we them girls?
I mean, always. I think everybody thinks that. But, I had a lot of friends that my year that I crossed were Deltas, crossed Delta too. So, and just, a part of Greek life in general. So it was a big family, everybody who crossed my same year.
Right.
But, of course.
So can you share an example where a relationship from your sorority, played a role in your success?
Let's see. I mean, I can't think just off the top of my head one situation, but I just know it's kind of just a level of comfort, kind of like HBCU. You go to the airport, you see somebody with a Fayetteville State sweatshirt. Like,
Yep.
it's immediate, like, I'm good.
Your
You know what I
connection,
mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So just those lifelong connections that I'm always getting is just like the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after you left A&T, you said you went to grad school in NYU.
Yes.
Talk about, because this is something that we both share, like, common.
Yeah.
Talk about moving away from home and how that was, because I know I'm in state 4, I think.
Okay.
I done lived
I
in
didn't know that.
Atlanta, DC, Maryland. I lived in Raleigh, and now I'm in Miami. So
Okay.
talk about leaving where you were comfortable out at, and going to NYU. Like, how was that?
It was great. I think that I was still, uncomfortable to live in a big city, like totally on my own financial wise. So, but I knew I wanted to move. I wanted to explore outside of Charlotte. So grad school was just like the perfect excuse to, have financial aid and live in Manhattan in a dorm, but still be able to say I live in New York,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So how did you go about, like, building a support system? Because I know when I moved to Atlanta, I moved there because my aunt passed away in the church shooting. And I just, at that point, I was in a space where, like, I need to do something to honor her. And when I got to Atlanta, I didn't know nothing about Atlanta. I didn't know anybody there. And it was a grind, you know what I'm saying? Like, you had to really figure out who was there for you, who really was genuine, the people to be around, to network. Like, how did you build a support system in New York City? Like, that's big time.
Yeah, so that's a good question. I had like 2 friends from high school and A&T that lived there. So that was like a start. But also I was just like ready for that risk.
Yeah.
So I just went and made friends, like classmates, colleagues, connected like, with Black girls that I saw at like an event.
Yep.
And, we just like tight in the city for the rest of the year. So yeah, and then it just grew from there. And then, Instagram, social media started growing. So now it's like you meet people through there.
Right.
So yeah, it was cool.
So when you first got to New York, like, what were some of the challenges you faced? Because I know my biggest thing was, like, I'm a people person if I know you, but I'm really, like, shy for real. Like, I'm not gonna really go in a big room of people, like, and introduce myself and talk. At first I wasn't like that, but I realized, like, you can't be like that when you got somewhere that you're trying to go. So moving from Greensboro to New York City, like, talk about, like, what's a main challenge, like, in New York I was dealing with?
Being broke.
No, for sure. No, I'm glad you said that, though. For sure, though.
Yes. Oh my gosh, like living off $2 slices.
Yeah.
Like just being a broke college student. And then also that's when I feel like I started getting anxiety, like really bad anxiety. I think just the train, and like one time I was on a train and I just, like, that's how bad anxiety is because it can mess with your head so much. I was on a train looking at all these strangers, and then I'm like, oh shoot, I'm in this big old city by myself. I'm in this big old train with strangers, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I gotta get off this train. So that's when, like, I started to have to, like, manage mental health and, like, learning how to balance, just making sure I'm good mentally and taking care of myself.
Is there something specific that you did to help you adapt? Because I know for me, when I moved to Atlanta, I was still playing. So I leaned on my teammates a lot. Like, let's get in the gym. Like, let me hang around y'all friends. Let me see who y'all, like, hang with. What did you do to, like, cope, like, with being alone, with, like, the loneliness of being away from all your friends, all your families, while still trying to, like, manage and deal with your anxiety?
So I think, like, hanging with my classmates, I had this one classmate, Kayla, and she literally was from China. A couple of my classmates were, like, literally new to America, and she was just, like, happy every day. And so we would hang out all the time, and then that energy just, like, rubbed off on me because I'd be like, how is this girl happy every single day and I'm struggling? So just being around, like, positive people.
Yep.
And then, really, like, praying and, like, leaning into my faith. That just really helped develop that because I had nobody else to lean on.
Right. What about socially, though? Because how was moving around and living in different states, like, affected your dating life? Because I know for me, it's a struggle. The dating apps ain't it. And, like, you don't want to let your career or, like, what you're doing get you in the way of, like, dating, but it's like when you are so focused and you're already away from friends, you're already away from family, like how did that affect your dating life?
So when I went to New York, I was in a relationship, like a 7-year relationship. So I still had that like sense of comfort. Like you can come to New York when, you know, I'm struggling. I go to Charlotte. So that wasn't that bad. But yeah, you're right. It wasn't until like I was single and then moving. I'm sure we'll get into like when I moved to LA, and dating in like big cities like that can become a struggle. So, you know, and the apps is not where it's at.
It's not where it's at all. And that's what I was going to ask you next. Like, so after you left grad school, like how you end up in LA? Tell us, because I know the story, but tell us about how, like, what made you transition from New York to LA when you were done?
I think what happened. So after grad school, which was 2 years, I graduated, came back to Charlotte, and just trying to figure out what's next. And I was just trying to analyze, okay, do I want to stay in Charlotte? No. Do I want to go back to New York? No. And I was like, okay, LA. And then I had a best friend who moved there. So I would go visit her. And then when I was visiting her, I was like, okay, you know how you go somewhere and you're like, I live here. It was that type of situation.
So let's transition to LA. When you got to LA, what was your first job? Like, did you just go out there like, I'm gonna try to find something? Did you have an opportunity already waiting on you?
Oh no, I was staying, just that typical LA story, staying with my best friend, and then went to Vegas, had fun for a little there, and then came back to LA, stayed with a friend, and saved. I found like a random job. It was like a PR opportunity, but it was for like a financial firm. So it was kind of boring to me, but it paid the bills. I didn't have no bills, but I was saving every week, saving money. And then eventually I saved enough to get out of my friend's house, and then saved enough to ship my car from Charlotte to LA.
Which is a lot, okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then from there, just building. I journaled every single day when I moved to LA because it was such a struggle, like even having Ubers to get to that job. And then that's when I started. This was 2018, so I started Black Girls in Media. Like I started, creating that membership, and I didn't have no money to get to the job, and then so I just went to sleep, and I woke up with like my first member from Black Girls Media, and that I was able to get an Uber to the job, and I'm like, okay, God, I see you. I got something here.
So I heard you did some work with VH1. Yeah. How did that come about?
So that was when I was interning in New York when I was in grad school.
Oh, so you worked for VH1 in New York. Oh, so you already was planting the seeds to do. Yeah. Okay, so then when you got to LA, you started Black Girls in Media. Let's talk about that, because that's the big, you know what I'm saying, like thing. What made you want to start that? Like, did that start just because you already had a vision of it, or you just saw that Black girls need a space to like? Go ahead. Like, what did you think?
So when I was in grad school, amongst all those challenges, that's when I started interning. Because at NYU we had to do internships anyway. So I messaged a Black woman at VH1 on LinkedIn, and she was like the communications director at the time, and she helped me get in the doors. So it was like a PR internship, and then I moved up and down those Viacom elevators. Like I was at BET for a year, intern there.
I didn't know that. That's what's up. Yeah.
Intern under Steven, the president at the time at BET. So that was great, under his executive assistant. And then after BET, went to Comedy Central.
Okay.
Had a jam there. So yeah, that's where I got like a lot of my experience. So with that, like navigating the industry is when I started trying to grow a network. And then that's when I started Black Girls in Media in New York. I just created a group chat and just added some girls from New York that I met. And then once I moved to LA, that's when I started like actually making it a business and growing it.
So when you first started like the business, like what are some challenges that you faced? Because just like I know with all entrepreneurs, it's never easy to like start a business. So when you first started, being that it just came from a group chat, like what are some challenges you faced with Black Girls in Media in the beginning?
I think just growing something that you don't expect to grow. And then it's kind of like, oh shoot, what do I do now?
Right.
So that was the main struggle. So like I said, when I was in New York, I started a group chat, called it Black Girls in Media, and then everybody started adding people. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then people were giving each other opportunities, and somebody was like, oh, thanks to this chat, I got a job at so-and-so, and here I am back in Charlotte. I'm like, hold up.
Right.
Like, I created this. Nobody's like, everybody's, getting blessings of, and that's when I started realizing, like, I'm creating something to help others. And I never had anything like that in my life before. It was kind of just like, my life was about me, me, me. And so I think that was a challenge in itself to realize, no, this is bigger than you. It's not even about you.
So when you saw that the work that you were doing was inspiring others, how does that make you feel? Because I know you probably it was probably like just a little dream at first, and then you see like your dream blow up. Like, what was the process to that? Because I know y'all didn't just start with 400 people. Like, you just had 400 people at your conference. Like, that's dope.
Yeah.
But how does that make you feel knowing that you see people getting jobs off of something that you created?
Yeah, I mean, at first it was really just a shock.
Yeah.
I'm just like, whoa, I didn't expect this. So now what? And then, as a business owner, we don't have blueprints to follow. So I was figuring out as I went along. So Mary, she is a business coach. I booked a call with her, and she has a community, and she was just like, yeah, like, this, you need to structure it as a business. You need to create a membership. You need to create structure. And so I'm just learning as I go along. And then the girls in the chat are like, who's in New York? I want to meet. Who's in LA? I want to meet. So then that's when I'm like, okay, shoot, now I got to start doing events.
Right.
So yeah, just kind of like day by day, and listening to what members were saying was keeping me inspired. Like, hearing what they needed and what they wanted more of helped me create more of it.
When you started Black Girls in Media, though, I know you said it started as a group chat. Was there a specific moment that, like, we need a space for these girls, like, that made you think that? Or was it always something that you, like, I'm a Black girl, like, I need to make sure that I'm putting everybody else on? But was there a specific moment that made you think, like, this is what we need?
Yeah, I think, like, once I started realizing and getting feedback on, like testimonials, like people coming up to me or tagging me and stuff, like, oh, I got this opportunity through Black Girls in Media. I'm like, oh, shoot. Yeah, so, like, seeing that actual impact at the beginning was like, yeah, this is something.
And I think we so humble because we are who we are. We don't fake, we don't pretend. And even just with me being a coach, like, seeing that I inspire so many girls even years later, like when my former players reach out to me and they invite me to baby showers and weddings, and like they want me to be a part of, like, their life, even though, like, I coached them years ago. That's like a really good feeling, like knowing that little old me is making like an impact, and I'm just trying to still make it myself. So it's like, I think we are just so humble, and even you too, because I know you probably just like, oh, I'm just Tasha, you know what I'm saying? But even for me starting a podcast, I'm like, I need Tasha on there, like, immediately, like, you know what I'm saying? So I think with you being in LA and then now having, like, Black Girls in Media, even the people in your name in LA, like, how has your name in LA expanded?
I would say, and I'm sure you can attest to this, like, just the beauty of moving and, like, going to bigger cities is just like, you create a network at each place, and then especially with social media, it starts to intertwine. So like New York, when I met, even the people at BT and VH1, and then starting Black Girls in Media, like, I now have a database of women doing great things in New York. Then I take that to LA, meet people who know these people in New York, and then also meet new people in LA. And while I'm still continuing to grow my brand, it's just like, and then also going to LA and getting bigger opportunities and being in rooms with people that are, doing, I guess bigger is subjective, but, kind of doing things that I aspire to do, and just having that, like, access to meet them and giving me opportunities. Like, I think, that was just like the biggest thing.
And I think it's crazy you say that, because I've been in Miami, like 5 months now? And I can say that I've been in rooms that I would have never even, like, expected. Me going to Miami was like, DC, it's ran its course. Like, it was good there. I enjoyed living there, but I was ready for something new. And since I've been in Miami, I've been to parties, private parties, just like, and I'm like, y'all want me to come? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in there like, these are people that I literally look up to, like be calling my friends like, oh shit, like, I'm geeking out, like that I'm in the room with them. So I think like for where we're at, like, and what we doing, like we doing damn good. You know what I'm saying? And Black girls in media, when I see the people that follow you, it's like, it's so many people that follow you. That's just even my friends that didn't even go to Mallard Creek that like know you. So I'm like, what you're doing, it, like, is definitely working. So like, what's one piece of advice that you would give your younger self? Like, is there anything you would have did different?
Well, just that segue reminded me of something while you were talking. It's just like, we can be in these rooms, but what matters is like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it matters who you know, but it really matters like what you know.
For sure.
So like, that just reminded me, you have started this amazing podcast, like, and then now you're in these rooms. Imagine like you're gonna have access to, you know, these guests and people that you want to interview. So I think that's why it's just so important to put yourself in these rooms, but then also while working on what you're working on, and then it just like, it makes it all better, and then it just connects the dots. So yeah, advice I would give to my younger self. What was my younger self? I think just keep going. Yeah, she was wild. She was she loved, and it's the same person I am today. Like, I still like taking chances. I mean, the older I get, the more like I'm like kind of trying to be cautious.
Right.
But taking chances, expanding my knowledge, expanding my network. I think I would just say, yeah, girl, keep going. You're doing it.
Right. Is there anybody looking back at A&T, looking back at NYU, even your experience in LA, that truly inspired you, that you look up to?
Oh, you know what? And I have yet to meet her. I haven't even been in the same room as her yet, surprisingly, is Issa. I love her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Issa's super dope.
Everything she's doing, like business-wise, I don't know, she seems cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think mine would be my coach at Clark Atlanta. He was, when I was the graduate assistant there, he was the assistant coach. And when he got the opportunity to be the head coach at Clark Atlanta, he immediately called me back. And I think that just made me feel good, just because it's like, out of everybody, you thought about me. There was something that I did, or that's something that you saw in me to make, you wanted to give me an opportunity. And that opportunity led to all of this, because me leaving Clark Atlanta was like, not easy, just because like of what I went there to do, but I did it because I felt like I had outgrown it. You know, I love my HBCU, but I didn't want to be like an HBCU coach on paper. I knew it was so much more to me than that.
Yeah.
So,
Can I ask a question?
Can you ask me? Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead,
So
please.
I would love to know, like, your vision for this podcast. What is it? And then how do you, or if you do, plan to intersect your passion for coaching and basketball with this show? Or are they kind of just do two different passions?
I think for me, like, I've been told over like the past year or two that I'm the person that can bring everybody together. Like, I have a lot of different friends that probably would never hang out together. But like, when I come home or when I throw a party.
I heard about the parties.
Look, when I come home or when I like have an event, it's just so like, to me, heartwarming to see everybody like together in the same space. And I just think the podcast came about because I've been coaching for 8 years now. Coaching is the only job that I've ever had since I graduated. And I kind of want to find like a different lane outside of basketball, because I've been playing basketball my whole life. Love it. I'm thankful for God for giving it to me, but it's like, I'm so much more than basketball. And I just think if I can create a space for people like you and for people that like we know to come and talk and chat and just talk about their experience, like, I just think that was what, you know, what encouraged me to do it. Of course I want to make money from it. You know what I'm saying? But immediately, that's not the reason I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I just know who I am, and I have a mentor, and he just keeps telling me like, monetize your personality. And if I can get some money from being the lit person that I am, why not? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what was the other question you asked me? You said what inspired me to start the podcast, and what else?
Do you plan to intertwine it, like,
yeah, for sure,
both passions?
For sure. I have some players that I plan on having on here. And I just think that basketball, just like you have your network, it has opened me up to meet so many different people. Like, I have a best friend that's in the WNBA, and I can't wait to have her on the pod, because
What team?
she just signed to the Aces. Hey, shout out to Tiff.
Okay.
Because we outside in Vegas all summer.
I know Tiff.
And she's back hooping with Asia Wilson, which is her your soror. They both your sorors. They both
Okay.
AKAs.
Period.
And I just think it's gonna be just super, super dope just to see how everything plays out. Like my thing is I wanted to make sure I got the people on here that are from Charlotte that are doing some really good things and people know, but I want it to be broadcasted. You know, like even just reading your accolades, like you done a lot of good stuff. And I just think that you deserve to be in a space where like people know that. So I mean, I plan on intertwining it. I think this summer is a lot of stuff coming, you know, like low and up. I got a lot of stuff like cooking up, but the podcast, I hope it's in right now. You know, like everybody got a podcast, everybody talking about different things. And I know if I could bring like my circle of people together, like even my video man, like graduated from Valley Creek. You know what I'm saying? Like doing his thing.
All
like
the family.
You know what I'm saying? It's all in the family. So I just feel like that's super, super dope.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. So talk about your transition from LA. Like what made you like want to leave LA like and come back to Charlotte and come back home?
So I don't know, I guess just getting to a certain place. So like as we talk about like when I first started and like doing things impulsive, like okay, moving to New York, and then okay, now I want to move to LA. Just like the older I get, it's like okay, eventually I want stability. Eventually, right?
For sure.
And then you know I don't want to keep hopping around cities. And then you think about dating, and it's like okay, how has dating been in LA? Which hasn't been bad. Like
I'd probably be on you, Tosh.
You
know what I'm
saying? I've had good dating experiences, but also at the same time, the culture in LA is still, I'm trying to get it. It's not really, I'm trying to lock you down.
For sure.
As opposed to the South. So yeah, I just think it was just, and then also like family, you know, I have nieces and nephews. So the older I get, the more I'm just like a fan of stability and work-life balance. Like I don't want to grind 24/7 like I used to. And so being home has just given me that balance, and I go to where I need to.
And you know, I didn't even know, like, when I reached out to you about the pod, I didn't even know you was back in Charlotte, but I have been contemplating sitting my ass down in Charlotte for so long, but it's like, I ain't got no girl, I ain't got no kids. Like, if I get the right opportunity in Charlotte, like, I will, but I feel you on the stability part because we 30-something years old. All our friends probably got kids. We got nieces and nephews, and I would love to have like a hard day at work and then get to go to my best friend's house. I haven't been able to do that like in over 10 years. Like I haven't lived in Charlotte since I graduated from Valley Creek for real. So how does it feel even just be able to like wake up and know you in the city with, you know, Charlotte? You know what I'm saying? Like your family here, like how has that been different for you?
It's been lit. Like it's been super calm. And just being able to like I was in Atlanta last week, and you know when I go places, I'm never like, oh, I don't feel like going back to Charlotte. Like I'm always like, okay, this is
going
nice.
back home.
But I might have one more city in me. Who knows? Like I'm not tied here. Like I still leave room for the unexpected because I still want to explore. I always want to, like, while I can. I don't have kids, so yeah, explore while I can and go to a city, see if I want to live somewhere else. But I do feel the need for stability, like right now on the horizon.
Right, because other than you living here now, when the last time you lived in Charlotte?
Well, during the pandemic, I was here for what, a year?
Because you took a 2-year break when you was doing your work. Not during pandemic.
Yeah.
And when you was going through the pandemic and like taking the break, like what headspace were you in? Just because like entrepreneurs coming back home for COVID, like how did you feel being back home like during that time?
During the pandemic though, I knew it was temporary. You know how we always just like, let me figure this out. And so once I actually, we didn't talk about this, but during the pandemic, I got a remote job at HBO on the social media team.
Okay.
And so once the pandemic was over, then we started going back into the office. So I went back to LA, which I knew I was going to go back to eventually.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. So the last portion of Cole's Corner, it's a segment called Off the Record.
Okay, but we're not off the record.
We not off it, but we off it a little bit. So I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. If you don't want to answer, tell me. Because you know I'm a little crazy a little bit. So
Sip, drink.
Fill in the blank.
Okay.
Success to me is.
Success to me is happiness.
Okay. If you could date any celebrity, current or past,
Wait,
who would it be and why? Look, I'm gonna tell you mine. Carisha.
we already knew.
Hey. Oh, Carisha.
Oh my God.
Carisha. Baby. Please.
Oh my goodness. No secrets. And that's off the record. I don't have anybody.
You got to have somebody in that archive. Celebrity, if you could date them. What kind of dudes you like, Tasha?
I mean, I used to always love Pharrell.
Okay, so hey, for real.
But not like that though.
Oh, just like you like. You don't like them like that.
Just like, yeah.
So
like,
you got no celebrity crush?
that like I be looking at every day, like, oh yeah, I would. I mean, there's some fine people in the world, you know what I mean?
Right.
But
Because ever since Carisha came into my life, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's my first. It's my first real celebrity crush. I can't take it. Yeah.
But like, you would seriously date her? No.
I think so.
Or is it just like a fantasy?
I think I would date her. Okay, let's move along. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all.
Because I'm trying to understand like the idea of a celebrity crush. Like, is a celebrity crush like somebody that you just be like, oh, they're cute, or is it somebody that you would literally date if you know?
I think for me, it's so funny because I've never really had a celebrity crush.
Right.
And ever since like Young Miami came around, I'm like, I like her.
Okay.
Why I like her?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? like her personality, even just I just feel like
just
she's
what you see.
unapologetically her.
Okay.
And I just love her.
Okay. Period.
You ain't got nobody.
No, because it's a ton. It's a lot of people. No.
Okay.
But I will say I do watch like people's interviews. Like, I'm a music head.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of actors who I think are cute. Music wise, there's a lot of people that I watch their interviews. So there's one person that I'm not saying it's a crush, but I like his like intellect and music.
Who intellect you like?
Vince Staples, I like him.
Hey Vince.
No, but not like that. But yeah.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah,
I'll take that. All right. What's
be
some of your
blushing.
bucket list that you haven't done yet? I want to learn how to swim.
Bucket list. I want to learn how to swim. We should do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Who's teaching lessons?
I don't know, we can find somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little aqua something, aqua tot something.
I don't know how to swim. Bucket list though. I want to skydive.
No.
You wouldn't?
No, I ain't trying to do that. I ain't fucking with that.
I would do it.
Okay.
Yeah. But I also want to travel. I haven't traveled enough, like fun wise. So I want to go everywhere.
I've never been out the country. A lot of people are surprised when I say that.
Surprised.
I have my passport, but I've never been out the country.
You just ready.
Yeah, you know, some of my friends be playing sometimes.
Okay.
And I don't want to go out the country by myself the first time. Like, if I did it with a group of people, I think I would feel comfortable doing it again, like, solo. Yeah. But that's definitely on my bucket list. I would say learn how to swim. And
do you have anything planned for this year?
I mean, my birthday in May is going up in Miami. All my friends coming to Miami, but
y'all should just go to Mexico.
I mean, I wish it could be that simple, but you know how it be. You know how it be. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a fun time with a group. But yeah, I want to go everywhere. That's on my bucket list.
All right, if you could describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be?
3 words. I would say optimistic. A lot of people, I hope it does. I don't know. I don't care. But probably in my past, it comes off as like toxic positivity. But I don't know. I really do try to put out what I'm trying to live. So that's being optimistic and expecting the best out of life. Optimistic, fun, and what else? What's the third one? You give me a third one. What you think?
I think you're super dope. Like, for
Okay.
real. Like,
Yeah.
I just think overall, like, from Charlotte, I just feel like more Malik Creek specifically, we do a lot of big things, but we're so humble because we're just us.
Yeah.
And I just think, like, you're super dope. Like, the stuff that you're doing, how many people you're inspiring, and it's just it's not for just Black people. It's for like, women in media altogether. But just the fact that you care about specifically looking out for our people, I think that's dope. And I just think I could be a little biased.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I just think
Thank you.
I just think that's super dope for real.
Appreciate that.
I got 2 more for you.
Okay.
Now, if you don't want to answer, you tell me.
Okay.
What is your ideal first date?
I'm an open book, so
You would go to the movies?
no.
I don't think I
you
like
can't
movies.
talk.
That's what I don't want to be mute on the first date.
Yeah, I haven't really been on a movie date in years.
Yeah. No,
I
same.
don't like that.
Same.
My ideal date would be these days something adventurous. Like I like to eat, so I don't mind starting off with food, but then after, like, let's do something that's like interactive, an activity to get to know each other. You know what I mean? So because the dinner dates, I've been on tons of dinner dates, and then they just don't lead to anything. It's just like,
for sure.
we spent all that money for what? To never talk again.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me your worst dating experience. I'll tell you mine. Look.
I got one ready.
Listen. I had a girl that I thought she was really cool.
Okay.
And I talked about this in my last episode, but this is literally the absolute worst. Me and my friends call her airplane mode because every night after about 9:30, that phone went on airplane mode.
And not D&D, but airplane.
And not D&D, not silent, but airplane mode.
That's crazy.
And I just was trying to figure out why. Why do you think I'm going for that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what you got going on. But that was probably the worst experience for me because I feel like it's so hard to meet genuine people. Like, off rip, when you meet somebody, you ain't trying to make them your husband, your wife, none of that. You just really want genuine vibes, especially I feel like with people like us because career-wise, we going. You know what I'm saying? We pour into our career. We pour into our friends. We pour into our family, especially even more so, like, because for years, we were so far away. Right. Now that you home, like, what was your worst dating experience?
Wait, but did you ask? Did y'all talk about it?
I mean, we talked about it, but after enough talking, you're lying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what was her excuse?
She said that she was a light sleeper. And that...
So she needed airplane mode.
And I said, yo, you live out of state. You live in Atlanta. Your mom and them live in another state. They don't think that's a problem.
So you just dropped her?
She had to go, Tosh.
Yeah. No. Because, I mean, if you felt it, if it's a weird vibe,
yeah, because it's like... I just feel like it's hard because I don't really ask for much, but it's like I need genuine vibes. And it's already hard enough dating with how social media and like how everything is. So I just felt like, nah. I have a very low tolerance for the BS,
I think that's understandable. Yeah.
And I know they be in them DMs, Tosh. I know you be dealing with... I know you got to give me a crazy worst experience.
Yeah, I do. So I left in the middle of the date before.
I do. I'm good for that.
Okay, you have before
I would text that group chat in a minute.
Okay.
Hey, tell me your tire flat and call me and act like you need me.
Oh, I didn't even say nothing. I left when I went to the bathroom. It was that bad. So yeah, the first date was actually at a music festival.
Okay.
Which, I didn't mind because, like, I love music. And, that was fine. But then after, it was like, okay, we're going to the next spot. And the next spot, I guess he was a musician, but immediately it was like a jazz lounge type vibe. And when we get there, he hops on the drums. And I'm just like, so is this a performance or a date? Because I'm confused. So he starts playing, and then he comes back to the seat, and I'm like, well, I'm hungry. And he's like, oh, yeah, there's a pizza spot next door. And I'm just like, is this a date or what?
Right, like, what we doing?
A first date at that.
Right.
So I said, okay, cool. I was like, I'm going to the bathroom. Called my Uber and left.
You skirted on him.
Yeah, never heard from me again. So cheers to you, sir.
Right. All right, last question. Are you currently dating? What's your relationship status? And would you spin the block on any ex? I'm going to answer this too.
Okay. Am I dating? Yes. I'm dating. But slowly.
Yeah.
I'm taking my time because I was into something not too long ago. So I'm
So you outside? A little bit?
Yeah.
Not too much.
Strategically, not doing too much. What was the second question?
Would you spin the block on any ex if you had the opportunity?
No. Well,
I'm spinning.
Really?
I'm doing 80 and 60.
So that's a hot topic. Like, should
Yeah.
you spin the block or not? Do you believe in second chances?
I believe in right person, wrong time. I am very like, I'm cool with all of my exes or all the people that I dealt with, just because like, I feel like it's no reason, like I don't cheat, they don't cheat. It just didn't work out. But there is
All
like
love.
one specific person.
Okay. If you're called.
Look,
Okay. You've been summoned.
yeah, I think it's one person for sure.
Really?
Yeah,
Because, like,
I would name drop, but I ain't gonna do her like
you
that.
feel like it was wrong timing.
I feel like we were just too young. Like we
Okay.
dated when I was in high school, and I just think that if we were older, the way that we connect now, the way we connected then, like it would work.
You also talk?
We talk.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is she single?
she ain't saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, give it time.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, now that you say that, I do believe in second chances. But then again, it's just like it depends on how it ended. But yeah, I mean, I love a good love story. I love a good Nelly and Ashanti.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just sent her a
I'm
DM
not
about
gonna
that the other
lie.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
don't mind.
So, what's next for you? Like, what do you envision for the future of Black girls in media? I saw that you had a conference coming up here for content creators in Charlotte.
Yes.
And then I seen you post something else that you got something going on somewhere else. I done did my research on you, Tash.
I love that. Yeah. So what? Next week I'll be in New York.
Okay.
For we're doing a event called Code and Content. It's a panel networking event in Manhattan, and it's a free event. The wait list is we do have a wait list. So just go on Black Girls in Media bio to register, because we probably will have more room to let you in. But yeah, it's in partnership with Baddies in Tech.
Okay.
So yeah, it's gonna be for the media babes, but also also tech industry. So that's gonna be a cool partnership with that. And then April 13th in Charlotte is the Mike's Camera Action panel event. Same concept, networking, panels. It's going to be some of your favorite content creators, journalists, and all that here in the city. April 13th, register today. And we have some really dope events also for the rest of the year, like in Atlanta and DC. And join Black Girls Media membership, because I'm always sharing movie screening invites. What else? Job postings. Just a really good place to level up your career, even if you're not in the media industry. If you're just looking to get into it, learn more, go on Black Girls in Media website. And yeah, my goals is just to keep growing it, to keep getting partnerships, providing more opportunity for the community, and getting Black women hired, getting us paid, and making sure that we're just helping each other. That's what it's all about. No mean girl syndrome, no competing. It's enough room and love for everybody. So I'm excited to see what's next.
Okay. All right. So where can our listeners connect with Black Girls in Media? Drop your socials.
Yes, Black Girls in Media on everything. And then me, Tosh J Mack, with 2 Ks, Tosh J Mack, and blackgirlsinmediainc.com. Follow us there.
Well, Tosh, thank you so much.
This was great. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I hope it. We're gonna see what come with it.
It's gonna be amazing.
But I appreciate you for being one
Such
of
a natural.
my. You think so?
No, for sure.
I think
it was never awkward. Never. I'll tell you more, but it was great.
Tell me more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate y'all. Shout out to y'all for tuning in to Cole's Corner. We off this.
Yes,
Appreciate you.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was so